Alright, what is going on, my friends? Thank you for joining me for this video. Didn't work out this weekend yet. It's Sunday, very late in the morning. Finally caught up on sleep that I missed out on the weekend and on Friday night. Feel so much better, so we're hydrating. And my typical Sunday, guys, looks like pretty much doing client work the whole day, where I'll kind of wake up, do a couple programs, and just depending on what my schedule is like when I lift, I will get these things done as they come in, as videos get sent to me and everything like that. So I pretty much have everything that I need. So I'm gonna wake up, hydrate, take the supplements I need to take, which is very few, but I'll show you guys that. And I'm gonna have a coffee and get started on my first program or two. And I haven't been responding to the comments, guys, because this readjustment the past week and a half, starting to drive for Lyft, did sign a couple more clients, and moving on from what I was doing in the last relationship I was in has been a massive adjustment. So we'll obviously get into that slowly but surely. But yeah, things are different now, and I'm just focusing on making money, doing what I want to do, and doing what's benefiting me. And I think that's gonna be best for myself and for everyone that I'm training. And hopefully, obviously, I can put more attention to YouTube soon, but it hasn't really been what I've been wanting to do. But I'm gonna still do what I wanna do, which is making videos. And I need to go through the comments and see what you guys are saying, because that's honestly where I get most of my material from. Most of the responses I do, most of the video titles I make, I get from the comments. But I haven't spent much time responding to all the comments because I rarely have Wi-Fi where I can just sit there for half an hour and read through them. I usually come home exhausted, ready to go to sleep, and I have so many things to do around here that I need to get in bed ASAP so I can wake up. But I do want to at least read through them, and someone just said, I saw one pop up when I was browsing through, and it said, how do you determine your genetic limit? So he asked if I use some sort of model. I don't know if he's trolling or not, because I never heard of the guy who has this model for determining your genetic limit. But guys, once you hit puberty, or once you're an 18-year-old adult male, if you lift weights and strength train for 4 or 5 or 6 years, you're gonna gain 70 to 90% of the muscle you could ever gain. So there's your genetic limit. It's just a ratio. If in 5 years you gain 90% and it's 15 pounds of muscle, well, that leaves you about 1.2, 1.3 more pounds of muscle for your genetic limit. And granted, these are dynamic things. Your genetic limit. Your genetic limit isn't something that's going to be set in stone, even though it might be biologically. But once you give your best effort at something like sprinting, high jumping, long jumping, after you master the technique for a few years and you build the muscle and your body adapts, your gains are only gonna be percentages probably in the single digits. So if someone's online asking what their genetic limit is, I would assume you haven't been lifting for more than, I don't know, a few months, because you'll quickly realize that once you're doing something correctly as far as strength training goes, after 18, 24 months, you know, of doing your best and doing it correctly. It really doesn't have to be your best, just follow a program that's proven to be within your maximum recoverable volume. That means doing as much work as you can without getting hurt while still making progress. That, after a few years, will easily tell you what's your genetic limit. A perfect example is Devin Palumbo, my buddy Beast Aesthetics. I remember him telling me stories and showing me videos of he started lifting weights around 12 or 13. By age 16, he was like cheat repping, touching his chest with 345 pounds on the bench. He cannot pause bench 345 pounds 10 years later. So he hasn't gained weight on the bar, but he's gotten stronger with that weight. Doesn't get hurt. His form is much, much better. It's a larger range of motion. So his gains have been marginal after, you know, 7 more years of training. And everyone is like that, guys. So if you're asking what your genetic limit is, forget about enhancement, forget about asking questions like that, and stick to strength training, because you should be able to be in the game long enough to find your genetic limit. And if you're not, and we're talking about, you know, 95% of your genetic limit, not going insanely meticulous trying to get that last competitive advantage. But yeah, guys, that is an irrelevant question. So good question, but I'm gonna respond by saying, do not worry about that question and do not worry about the answer, because knowing your genetic limit is gonna do nothing for you. And that's just how I see it. So let's take these supplements, get on the computer, get on the phone, get everything rolling. I'll see you guys in a second. Let's go to the kitchen. Okay, so today's supplements are minimal with my coffee because, well, they just are. I don't have any N-acetylcysteine or TUDCA anymore, but I do need to get those. So when I do get them in and I'm taking everything I normally take, when I feel like it's beneficial and I need them, I'll let you guys know. But right now we're taking 2 vitamin D3s and Exem 12.5 mgs. And one thing I'm going to show you guys is I'm correcting one of my client's squat forms today. His name is Mustafa. He's been with me for a very, very long time. And I'm going to show you a little bit of his squat action, and you guys are going to see me correct it. So let's check it out. So overall, speed, depth, and bar position is okay, but I'm going to show him the corrections that he needs to make. I'm going to have you guys watch, and maybe you can learn something from this too. This is what I need you to focus on. Everything is good, but you have anterior pelvic tilt before you initiate the squat. And I'm going to show you why that's not a good thing to have. Anterior pelvic tilt means you're like this. And when you start the squat from here, you are going to have to arch your back a lot, and you're going to have to extend your upper back like this. What we want to do is not get the belly rounded. We want the belly to be straight. So watch. Here the belly is rounded. Bring the hips forward, the belly is straight. Bracing your core means bracing here and pulling your rib cage down. It doesn't mean tensing, it means bringing your rib cage down. So once your rib cage is down and you initiate the squat, once you maintain this alignment, you will not be able to arch your back and get this position. You won't be here. With the belly straight, you're going to be more upright. All right, guys, what is going on? So as you might be able to see, sun is starting to debate going down, which means it's getting closer to 5 o'clock, and right now I'm finishing up Jordan's test week for his program, and what you're gonna see here is a little bit of a preview. Those 3 days of training. He has a labrum shoulder surgery, so he won't be barbell bench pressing for now. But tomorrow when he goes in the gym, I'm gonna have him hit a couple sets of 6 with a dumbbell that he could do about 9 reps with. On Wednesday for his lower body, I'm gonna have him pull on a deadlift about 30 pounds less than what he thinks his max is, film it, send me that, and then I'm gonna determine what his estimated 1 rep max is based on what him and I think and his performance. And then Friday, he's going to hit some squats and do a little bit of a pull day for me as well, just to get some volume in. So basically that's just gonna tell me where his strength is, where his max is about, without endangering him and taking an unnecessary risk. None of my trainees have ever been hurt in the gym. Just a couple minor tweaks here and there, which is very, very good, but no muscle tears, no strains or bad sprains or anything like that. And that's really the key to getting better, is making sure that you stay safe. So I'm gonna finish up Jordan's stuff. Shout out to Mike as well, who's starting this week, but he won't be doing training, just a little bit of a nutrition and we'll just say enhancement as well. So I'm gonna wrap this up, have another meal. Next time you guys see me, we'll be benching. So hopefully that goes well, but I gotta get this done, get a little bit of rest, and I'll see you guys when we're training. And here we are, guys, 6:15, 24 Hour Fitness, Glendale. Let's go in, shall we? Murder this, 250. All right, guys, what's going on? So that song was about to get triggering for YouTube. Speaking of YouTube, they've been demonetizing my stuff. After they monetize it, I'll like go to bed and then they'll demonetize it. It'll get 1,000 views. Then I'll wake up and request for it to be reviewed, and then like by the time everyone's watched the video, they'll remonetize it. So they're basically just trying to steal money from me and all the other creators. So it's really kind of annoying. Until they start actually giving us what we deserve, the videos are gonna just be, I guess, quicker, but they're gonna be informational nonetheless. It's just hard to get myself motivated to do something that used to make me money, which no longer makes me money, and it's really frustrating. But you're seeing here, lifetime PR-ish, relatively, I mean, basically a lifetime PR, because it took me 2 more years to bench this much weight, injury-free, pain-free, but I hit 250 for 3 triples, and while you guys watch this basic, I guess, push session with arms, this was also pretty heavy for me, 85 pounds here. Full range of motion dumbbells, walking out, bringing the dumbbell to the pec, walking out, bringing the dumbbell to the pec. The way I see progressing on benching, the way I got it from Jason Blaha, I interpreted it my own way, so I don't have to really deload very often. What I do is I pick a weight like I did with 235, and then I think I went to 240, or if I skipped it to 245, and I'll work up to 7 sets of 3. When I'm gonna hit 250 pounds for 7 sets of 3, and I can go in twice a week and just master that, sure, it'll be tiring, sure, I'll be exhausted, but once I know that I have the strength, the muscle mass, the endurance to do it, as soon as I do it 2 or 3 times and I'm like, wow, I feel like I'm overreaching, that's a lot of volume, I'm gonna up the weight until it becomes, you know, significantly heavier than what I'm doing now. I'm gonna up the weight and just drop down to 3 sets. So whereas for a few weeks I was doing 245 for 7 or 8 sets of 3, that was pretty damn taxing. So now that I'm finally mastered at 245, I don't need to deload for a week or take a week off benching. I just up the weight to 250, which really feels identical, and I just do 3 sets and move on. So I'm not necessarily progressively overloading in a true sense because my volume is so much lower, but I'm overloading my nervous system and my muscle tissue and my connective tissue by moving heavier weight. So I'm getting used to the heavier weight. Maybe I'm not getting as much volume in, maybe there's not as much activation or stimulation, but the fact that I can walk in, do something heavier for just a few sets and leave means I'm gonna recover much, much easier, but I'm still handling the heavier weight. So until I get to something that's heavy, like 260, 270, 280, and I can't just be like, oh, I'll add 5 pounds and just do 3 sets, it's really working for me, and it's almost like a linear progression. So that's just something I want you guys to take. If you're struggling and grinding, drop to a weight you can do 3 easy sets with, and build to 7 sets, and when you're good, add 5 pounds until you get a lot stronger. It's that easy, boys and girls. Hit my bench, incline, standing, and now we're doing the circuit. Laterals, triceps, biceps, legs tomorrow. Here you go, guys. About 40 minutes. Accomplished more in the gym than anyone else I saw here. A lot of arm killers today. Some really, really bad quarter squats. But some guy was trolling me on DMs asking if I'm ever gonna learn how to work out my arms. Guys, if you think there's a correct way to have an arm day, you might be a moron. 250, baby.